It's time for our extremely prestigious, very hard to attain, fucking put it on your business card award called the Mike Zeroh Lie of the Week award. Now,
excited now.
We've done this like 3 times, I think. Two of them, I think I gave to Mike Zeroh. And this one goes to Mike Zeroh as well.
Thereby proving that the award was well named, allegedly.
The one other guy we gave it to saw the video, apologized for the post that he made and deleted it.
Oh, good.
And I was like,
that's how you should respond.
Yeah, that's a really, like, to be able to admit that you were wrong and be like, yeah, this wasn't a true thing. And he also was like, yeah, I knew this wasn't true, but, you know, figured that people would engage with it. And
again, at least you're fucking honest about it.
Guess who does not have the ability to do that?
Mike Zeroh.
Mike Zeroh, because in the world of whoring yourself on YouTube, Mike Zeroh is possibly the whoriest whore in the world, allegedly. So to put this into perspective, why he's winning this award.
Okay.
We got to talk about the now infamous South Park episode called Joining the Pandaverse.
Okay.
Now, anyone my age knows South Park pretty well because that was the shit I wasn't allowed to watch in middle school that my buddy Joe and I would go and watch anyway. And because it was dirty and foul mouthed, it has turned out to be this entire time. And I've appreciated this more as an adult, that South Park does satire so well. They're so good at it. And one of the reasons is that they make fun of everyone. They
do the same thing The Boys does. They're not afraid to take aim at anything.
Yeah, which, by the way, the people that are responsible for that show are super, super liberal. And I appreciate that they can pick out the shit that doesn't make sense everywhere and just shit all over it and make it fun, like genuinely funny. And so this episode featured a lot of really funny shit. It nailed Disney for their obvious what's a good word, their obvious MO of put a gay person in it and maybe we'll get a few more dollars out of that. And not really caring about the issues at all because they carefully market test everything. And they're like, a majority of people like this thing, so we'll put in a token in this thing, and hopefully a couple more people will come out and see the movie, right? Which is terrible. Like, it's shitty. It's kind of like, you know, in Rise of Skywalker, they're like, okay, Americans, you get a lesbian kiss because that polls better than a gay kiss. Otherwise, if it polled better, we would have had fucking Poe Dameron and Finn rocking around in bed together, which I would have been all for. But they're like, straight men in the 18 to 30 demographic are more comfortable with lesbians because that's the porn they watch.
And meanwhile, in China, no lesbian kiss. Yeah, because that shit is illegal.
They don't like that in China, so we're taking it out entirely. So we have to make it 2 minutes, like 2 seconds long, so it can be easily cut out. And there, we gave you a fucking bone. There we go.
There you go.
And do they care about the fact that's represented? No. It's a market demographic that's going to make them money, right? So, and that's all that. And they fucking nail them for it, and it's hilarious. It is so funny, and it's really nice to see people like Bob Iger fucking nailed for shit like this, and people like Kathleen Kennedy, by the way, who also, you know, make this happen. They also make fun of the people whose entire identity is hung around hating Kathleen Kennedy and like The Last Jedi. And what's really funny is that these people that they're making fun of don't realize that they're the joke. It's like the same people think that Homelander is like the hero of The Boys, right? Like they just don't get it.
Because he's the Superman, right?
And Mike Zeroh is one of these guys that doesn't realize he's the guy that's getting made fun of. And so there's all this discourse after this episode came out. A fucking hilarious episode. You should watch it. And people like Gina Carano took to the artist formerly known as Twitter and went on this. It's Gina Carano, so everything is a conspiracy theory. Like, oh, and Kathleen Kennedy is gonna have her shadow army on social media come and get me and all this, and fucking Jewish space lasers trimmed my pubic hair and I didn't realize it. And all this other bullshit. And then people like Mike Zeroh coming out just like, oh yeah, they're finally nailing Kathleen Kennedy. It's like, you are the joke. You are the people they're making fun of. Like, you just don't get it. He's getting the Mike Zeroh Lie of the Week award, though. However, by knowingly lying and claiming that Kathleen Kennedy is going to take there are sources, and the sources are just trust me, bro, that Kathleen Kennedy is taking legal action against South Park, that she's suing because of her portrayal in South Park. A couple things about this. First of all,
why would she care?
Kathleen Kennedy hasn't seen it. And if she has, she's only seen like the important parts of it.
Like, the thing is, when you're rich enough, you're at the point where you don't need to care about what people say.
Yeah, like,
now, some rich people do. Some rich people actually will drag you to court if you say even the slightest mean thing about them. But most rich people just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because they have money. They have fuck you money, the purpose of which is to say, fuck you, I don't care.
She's close. She's got to be getting close to her retirement. As well, which, by the way, she'll retire and everyone will be like, oh,
she's fired.
They finally fired her.
Retired.
She eventually is going to retire. She is most likely just filthy rich from all the shit that she's produced and everything. And I guarantee you she didn't give a single shit about this, right?
If she's aware of it at all, she probably laughed at it.
Yeah,
honestly.
What's really funny is Cartman plays Kathleen Kennedy in the episode. It is the funniest shit in the world. Which, by the way, like the criticisms they made of Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger and Disney, valid criticisms. Like, stop making a product where you're just trying to sell it to the most people possible, and you might have a better product. It's like the MCU thing we're just talking about. But she's not suing anyone. First of all, because she doesn't give a fuck. She's rich. She does not give a shit. She lives in a bigger house than you. So
her dick is probably bigger than yours.
Why the fuck would she care, right? The other thing, you know how many people have tried to sue South Park over shit like this? So many people. Guess how many people have won?
0.
None of them. Because the South Park is like at the beginning of the episode is like, look, this is satire. We're just shitting on everything. We're just having fun. Yeah. And that's perfectly covered under the First Amendment. Yep. And she understands that. The lawyers at Disney understand that. No one would ever bring charges like this against something that's so clearly covered by the First Amendment. And also, her suing South Park would be a huge PR disaster for Disney, because it would paint her as someone who has a really thin skin, who would get... I just keep thinking of a particular politician that would sue over this if he had the money and wasn't cash poor to do it.
And also embroiled in multiple legal issues across multiple states and federal cases.
Yeah. So no, Kathleen Kennedy is she's not suing South Park. She doesn't care. She probably didn't laugh, because it is a pretty ugly portrayal of her. So if she saw it, she probably didn't laugh. It probably did hurt her feelings, but good, because they were valid criticisms. But Mike Zeroh, you are the joke, my friend. Not my friend. Fuck you. You're not my friend. You're the joke. You don't get it, which is so much more embarrassing. And it's one of those things where I see you put videos out like this where I'm just like, that is the cringest bullshit I've ever seen. Fuck you.